Greetings, fellow countrymen. Greetings, one and all. So happy to see you here at the gate. You appear to be awaiting my arrival, and I did not tell you I would be here. But I'm sure that you know, as frequent as Osiris and I do come this way, that you would expect us. And I have a few moments before I needs await the meeting of Osiris, who is teaching a group of young boys this morning on the same principles that we will speak to you. And we would talk to you this day of love. We would speak to you of love. Love not as you know it, as this moment, but we would speak to you of that infinite oscillation, the source of life, the source of all living things, which is love. Love is that oscillating energy that holds the worlds together or apart, whichever way you wish to look at it. Love is that very beautiful frequency that causes the trees to grow, the flowers to bloom. Love is that which causes man to live, for love is life. Life is love, true life. We speak of the great radiating frequency, the great force fields that come from the infinite, set in motion by the higher minds on the high frequency worlds, the super celestial worlds of the most infinite dimensions. This is set in motion and created and regenerated by these higher minds. This is the life force, the very life force of man. When you people can begin to become aware of what we speak, truly love, you can tune into this energy, you can tune into these higher minds and receive this love, as now we are expending it forth to you all. And I simply say, let the power of love flow. Let the love of life flow unto all mankind and you, each one. When we are simply aware of this essence, this pure essence of the most high frequency of love, the very thoughts, the very mind, the very souls of the infinite brothers, the higher minds, then we are in tune with this vast, creative, infinite source, this force of life. For life is love, pure, infinite, intelligent love. This has nothing to do with your emotional conflicts with each other. And we can say to you that if you would start to be aware of this wonderful essence that is there and available and presented for each and every one of you, if you would be aware of this vast infinite love that permeates all growing things, man, trees, animals, flowers, grass, every living, growing thing is permeated and motivated and regenerated by this infinite love of the brothers. And by the brothers, I mean the great spiritual minds and beings who motivate the cosmos, who maintain the force fields and the planets and all things that move and live and have their being in this and all other worlds. We must be aware that each and every soul has this spark of infinity within him. You are a part of infinity. Each and every soul, you are a part of the great cosmic force called, if you wish to call it, God. We prefer to call it infinite intelligence. But realizing that you each are a part of this infinite intelligence. But you must develop this intelligence. You must make it your own. In your times of need, when you are totally involved in emotional conflicts with your fellow brother man, you are extending out a great hatred or fear or resentment to your fellow man, and he bounces it back to you regenerated. If you would just stop for the moment and think, Isis said love. And what is this thing called love? If you would only stop for that one moment and be open and aware and be conscious of this infinite regenerative love. For love heals all things. There is no greater power, fellow countrymen. There is no greater power in the world or any other world than infinite love. And I have proven that to myself. At Isis and Osiris, we have proven and reproven this to ourselves so many, many times. There is no greater power, for love is the regenerative power of infinite creation. If you could realize but that one concept, dear souls, you would be on your way to a progressive evolution. And so as I tune in to this great world of love, this great world of the infinite, and we say to our spiritual brothers of light, let the power flow. And we sense and we feel this great golden, beautiful, marvelous, wonderful, quickening energy that comes into us and that brings our life into us again and that circulates through our being. And this is the love, dear ones, that you must learn to live with, to become aware of. This word and phrase of infinite love is not set aside for some few special beings. We brothers of the infinite and the inner worlds are constantly regenerating and projecting it for each and every one. No one excepted. No one excepted. And it saddens us greatly when we see one who will refuse this love and will instead build for himself a gigantic ego structure where he thinks he is some great god, and he seals himself off into some ivory tower and say, I have it made, I am the greatest. And he thinks that he is the ruler. How many, many times in the past, dear fellow men, have each and every one of you believed these false concepts? Why? Because you have not learned the one principle of love and putting it in action. Love in action simply means compassionate understanding for your fellow men. And when you have compassionate understanding, it does not mean that you pamper this soul or dawdle in sympathy. No. It simply means that you look to this soul in understanding his problems. If the soul comes to you with emotion and reaction, look within, contact that force, that great life force, the God or Christ self within, that knows the answer here. And when you contact this force within you this great regenerative, infinite God force. And then you can look to your fellow man and say, I see his problem. He is in need of understanding. And when I understand his problem, he can be helped through my understanding. You see? And this is the way it does. It works every time. When one will be compassionate in understanding this love force within, this compassionate understanding of no condemnation, this spiritual love force, this radiating, regenerative force field from the very highest dimensions is regenerated eternally and heals all within reach of this frequency. Oh, dear ones, it is the most beautiful way of life to live. You need not go onto your knees, sink to your knees in prayer. You need not beg to some God to forgive you, for you must forgive yourself for whatever it is you feel you have done that is erroneous or sinful. For there is no sin except to man himself. And so we brothers say to you, learn to live ye in peace, and learn to love ye one another. If you do not love thy neighbor or thy brother, then how can you love thyself? And by loving thyself, we mean the understanding of the regenerative principles of infinite intelligence and the infinite nature of life itself. So knowing these things and putting them in action in your day-by-day life, there's no reason why that you do not climb upon a regenerative way of expression, and that tomorrow will find you in a far better and happier, more peace-filled and joyous way than you are this day, and that the day after you will be even more peace-filled and love-filled. And when you start to see that beautiful and infinite love within the heart and mind and soul of thy brother, you will indeed feel it more within thyself. And so we say to you, be aware, be receptive of these infinite powers that come to us, for they are ever present. And once again, we open the channel of our consciousness and extend this life, love force unto all mankind and unto you. And so I say to you, learn to love ye one another as I have loved ye all. And now I feel that it's time that Osiris has broken up his meeting with the young boys, and I must go to meet him. So love to you, dear ones, love.